There is a major news story about the Walt Disney World Resort which is not being reported largely, but it must be now, folks. Disney World accounts for 1/3 of all of the Disney company's profits, and yet they surely are not profiting, as crowd levels are dropping, plummeting. It is, folks, an absolute bloodbath, but not at the turnstiles. Nobody is coming to Disney World in July, the 4th of July, empty. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment, and by golly, we have a good time as we do so. Joining us today to dive into what I think should be at the top of the list of things that investors want to know for the Disney company, we have Ron Follow the Bradley's Fun, as well as Lorena Creole. Welcome to you both.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, let's dive into this topic we have today, which is a huge one. I mean, this shocked me. And I've been reporting that crowd levels were going to be low for the 4th of July. I've been reporting on the summer crowds being very low at Disney World. But we are now into territory that this is unbelievable. Just the mere fact that people take vacations means that these numbers should not be possible, and yet they are. Let's dive in. This is out of Blog Mickey, the infamous website where Mike, our author today, told us that Tiana's Bayou Adventure was a necessary downgrade. Does not seem to be going well with the necessary downgrade, considering the crowd levels. No one is going to see this, and we'll tell you just how bad it is. Magic Kingdom scales back patriotic decor and park hours as 4th of July crowds remain low at Walt Disney World. I'll also tell you as we get in this article, there are quite a few people who are unhappy that Disney seemingly was very enthusiastic about the celebrations that take place during the month of June and then pulled way back on the 4th of July. There are a lot of people not happy about this. Folks, as we dive in, click the like button, and here we go. It's a slow 4th of July at Walt Disney World for the second year in a row, and it looks like Disney may have forecasted as much, shortening typical holiday period park hours and not decorating as much as they have in the past. Now, we told everybody that this was what Disney was forecasting. We told you all about them pulling this back. The problem is, this was way worse than I think even Disney could imagine. And you can see in this article, it shows where only Town Square was decorated for the 4th of July. They didn't even decorate the rest of Main Street. And you can see this in the before and after 2023 versus 2024. You can see that places were decorated, places were not. And they just apparently said, you know what? We'll throw up some 4th of July stuff, some decor in the very entrance of Magic Kingdom, and we'll shoot some fireworks and call it a day. That is not okay. Let me show you how badly the attendance was. So we took this in the middle of the day yesterday. And take a look at this. You have very, very low wait times all across the Magic Kingdom. How low, folks? Well, take a look down here. Pirates of the Caribbean in the middle of the day was a half-hour wait. We saw it, by the way, in other parts of the very busy time of the day down at 20 minutes. I want to ask Lorena first. Lorena, you've been in the Magic Kingdom during the 4th of July celebrations. Now, I know you were there on the 3rd instead of the 4th. Same idea, same thing. They shoot fireworks. Can you give us a report on what the crowd levels were like?
The crowd levels on the 3rd, they were not very big at all. It was quite low, especially in previous years. Granted, it was the 3rd. Usually, still on the 3rd, you've got a good amount of people that are there. So I did notice really, really low wait times for attractions. And when it comes to the fireworks display itself, I'm going to bring this up. Usually the 4th of July fireworks are insane. They're like the ones you wish that your local town could replicate. It's just absolutely crazy. The celebration this year, I think I clocked it at 7 minutes.
Wait a minute. The 4th of July fireworks at the Magic Kingdom are some of the most impressive things you'll ever see. They shoot fireworks 360 degrees all around the park. Are you telling me that they changed the show?
Well, what I'm saying is it seems like they reduced how long the show was. And I remember much more fireworks than in previous years.
Oh, we're going to follow up on this.
Yeah, the show was scheduled to start at 9:20. They didn't start till 9:30, and then the show ended at 9:37. because I checked my watch.
Oh,
I'm
the
like,
fourth,
I don't
they're like
remember it
15
being this
minutes long.
short.
Yeah, we're gonna look into
I mean,
this.
they had the 360 fireworks, like I remember, but nowhere near the insane, crazy Harry type of fireworks that you're used to, that you're used to seeing. My local town had better fireworks this year.
Now that is a shame, because there are, of the people who went, which we're about to show you folks just how low this is. We've got the data, but there are people who are spending huge amounts of money to go see these fireworks. They're going to this park at this time to see these fireworks. If they cut them in half, that is a story. We'll follow up on it. Ron, this was not the case, though, when it comes to theme parks all over Central Florida. It's not as if people said, oh, suddenly we're not going to go down to the 4th of July in Florida. It's too dang hot. Can you tell us what you were seeing and hearing on social media regarding the other theme parks?
Yeah, so like I'm a part of groups of from SeaWorld and from Universal. SeaWorld, I believe, was completely at capacity because they had to actually not let guests in and out of the park because they had so much capacity. They had so many people waiting. Kind of reminds me of when I went to see the television show Friends. I was in the audience, and if you left, you couldn't come back in because there were so many people waiting outside in the Warner Brothers studios to come in case there was a break, and they got to see it. And that's how SeaWorld was. It was so popular on the 4th of July that they had way more people wanting to get in than they have capacity for. The wait time for, and this is, there's a ride called Journey to Atlantis at SeaWorld. This is not by any means the most popular ride. It's a wet ride. It's as close to they have as a flume ride like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but it's bigger and better and wetter. And it's actually a very cool attraction. But it's not the most popular like Mako or one of the bigger roller coasters there. Well, the wait for that attraction was over 2 hours long. And this was midday when it was over 100 degrees, when it felt over 100 degrees outside. So, yeah, it was crazy. And I get to watch the SeaWorld fireworks from my home. I'm not that far from SeaWorld. So I would say that fireworks show, the 9 o'clock show, was at least 15-20 minutes long, maybe. I mean, I was watching the whole time. I know exactly where to look. I was even live. So, yeah, they definitely went longer than 7 minutes. I would say probably about a 20-minute long fireworks show at SeaWorld. So I don't know what was going on at Walt Disney World.
Well, take a look at this, folks. And as we talk about this, one of the reasons this is so important, one of the reasons this should be a 5-alarm alert going off, red alert, red alert, red alert, to everybody who's involved in the Disney company, is because the Walt Disney World Resort accounts for, again, 1/3 of the profits of the entire corporation. Now, Inside Out 2 is doing quite well at the box office. It's made $1 billion. That's like 1/90th of all the revenue that Disney will make this year. Approximate, folks. We're not at the end of the year yet, so we can't know for sure, but it's about 1/90th if historical trends are true. The Disney World Resort, on the other hand, is 1/3 of the entire company. So let's take a look at this data. I want to show people just how bad this is. It's terrible. This should have everyone in full-blown panic, change everything at Disney, and maybe that's why we're getting these Genie Plus changes, although I would suggest that they amount to almost nothing. So if you are watching your biggest revenue driver in the company by far go down the tubes, you should fix it with everything you can, not Elmer's glue. Take a look at this. This is out of thrillData.com, and we have from back in July of 2019, 41-minute wait time. Now, these wait times, folks, they're not exactly the crowd levels, but they're pretty well correlated. 41-minute was the average wait time for the month of July in 2019. If we go forward to 2021, we're going to skip 2020 for obvious reasons. If we go to July of 2021, you can see that it's 40 minutes. And that's even despite the fact that 2021 was a weird year. But it was still 40 minutes. If we go forward to 2023, let's go over here. We can see that there's a diminishment last year. And I had people, questioning things and saying, whoa, wait, what's going on here? 36 minutes was the average wait time for July in 2023. Now, if we go forward to this year, and remember, we've only had 4 days of this year or this month for this year for 2024. Folks, these are the biggest 4 days of July for Disney. These are the best days possible. The 3rd and the 4th should pump this wait time up so high. Like, the data should be screwed up because we're saying, oh, well, we can't count this because, there's so many people here these days, and it'll go down over the rest of the month like we always see. 28 minutes in the first 4 days, the heaviest attendance that it will have in this month. We are looking at what could be a reduction of half of the attendance for the month of July versus 2019 and 2021 and 2022, and you get the idea. We're looking at half. You can't do half. This company, listen, this is insane. And so I think that what we're seeing here is that while Inside Out 2 may be having some success, I think the problems of the company are coming to roost. And I want to get both of your opinions on this. I think, I'm going to pin some of this on Kathleen Kennedy. Star Wars needs Star Wars content that people enjoy for people to go do Star Wars at the parks. They're killing it. I'm going to put some of the blame on the Imagineers. They've opened ride after ride that they don't work. They're not running. Tiana's doesn't run. It was dumb to get rid of Splash Mountain in the first place. Moana is their biggest princess franchise. They put up a splash pad that smells like sewage. This is not the Disney company of 10 years ago. This is an utterly incompetent company. All right, whoever wants to take that first, have at it. This is nuts. These numbers are nuts for how few people are at Disney right now.
The numbers are nuts, but you're right, Pro, with things coming home to roost. And yeah, we'll start with Kathleen Kennedy. The Star Wars franchise, it used to be when you brought Star Wars out at the Disney parks, people couldn't throw away their money fast enough. It's just like, shut up and take my money. All the merchandise they'd bring out. I remember when they would bring out Darth Vader and his stormtrooper, people would like stop just to see that. So instead of giving us original trilogy like we thought we were going to get with Galaxy's Edge, we get it based on a sequel trilogy where people in general cannot really relate to. I can't tell you how many people who go there and they're like, where are the old Star Wars? This does not look like Star Wars at all. So there's that. Also, when you talk about the Imagineers, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Okay, I was there yesterday on the 4th, and the water has been reduced to a trickle on the drop. How can you have an attraction that's supposed to get you soaked and everything when there's no water hardly at all running on the drop, and it drops and there's zero splash?
Wait a minute, Lorena. Wait a minute. We were told in a tweet response to Mark Kern that garnered huge numbers of likes after IGN spotlighted it. We were told that problems with Splash Mountain, now Tiana's Bayou Adventure, that's because of guests. Guests are getting up on the logs. Guests are doing things they shouldn't do. You're telling me that they're not draining the attraction every other day because guests decided to wiggle their toes? Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you. I've been on Pirates of the Caribbean where they shut it down for about an hour because some idiot stepped out of the boat. But that was like an hour. They reset it and things were back to normal. But the fact that you would blame guests for, lack of a better term, this piss poor put together attraction, no. That is just brain dead. Why blame if you're going to blame money? Smart strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for you.
Yeah. Oh god, it just doesn't work. I mean, it's been down since it's been open to the public. This is not just the people said, oh well, they're just working out the kinks during the cast and pass holder previews. Well, then if they were working out the kinks during the pass holder previews, why is the attraction still down 30% of it the time that it's supposed to be operating? It's ridiculous. You go there. I went there the other day to get a nighttime virtual queue. 1 o'clock. I was in the park, got my queue, and I think this was on Tuesday. And I got group 66, and then I looked at the app and it said, "Oh, boarding paused." And I'm like, "So when the heck do I come back?" I mean, like you can't even plan your day. You get a queue. You don't like. it's so ridiculous. What if you have a
Right.
dinner reservation pop up? It's the dumbest thing.
It's a dysfunctional ride. It was delivered, it was built, not working. It's not worked since day one. It's not going to work, because if it was ever going to work, it would have been when they were getting it ready to launch. That was the best it's going to be. And I think they're going to take the ride down. I think the ride's going to have to come down in June, February, sometime around there, and it's going to have major money pumped into it to fix this.
And I have a prediction for it. I think I think you're right about like January, February, because I think that they're going to try everything they can to keep this open through the holiday season, and then it has to go down. It absolutely has,
right? Because they're trying to make money off of it. Yeah.
But I want to say about Star Wars. I remember going to Hollywood Studios in 2010s when Star Wars weekends was a thing, and I'm telling you, there's so much more excitement about Star Wars at Hollywood Studios 10 years ago than there is now. My sons, both of my sons, have done the Jedi Academy training, which was so cool. They've taken that away, where the young Jedis get the lightsaber training. So it was such a great event, and we actually my older son, when he was younger, I want to say it was 2012, 13. We got to participate in the Star Wars parade. Like he had his Jedi costume on, and a cast member came up to us and said, "Hey, would you guys like to participate in this?" And it was so cool. It was during Star Wars weekends, and it was like we got to go backstage, and we're surrounded by the stormtroopers and the different, and we marched out, and we were part of the Jedi group, and they brought out the 501st Legion. And there was so much more excitement surrounding Star Wars. And now it's so weird. They have a whole Star Wars land that's just wasted. It's just
Ron, I'll tell you what's changed. Remove 80% of the characters that were in that parade and replace them with these Disney characters that nobody wants. And that's what's killed this franchise. But Ron, before we go off too hard in Star Wars, there's a really important topic here that I'd like to hear your take on. This idea that Magic Kingdom and Disney just decide, there's not as many people coming this year to the 4th of July, maybe half of what we've had in prior years. So we're just not going to decorate anymore.
Yeah,
that is crazy to me. Heads should roll for the idea that you're not going to decorate for major holidays. That's nuts.
It's really, really strange. Because I'm like, where is the cost in it? If they have all the decorations from previous years, I personally know where they store them. So it's not like you can't just bring them out and throw them up. And honestly, I believe the patriotic decorations should start Memorial Day, and they should stay up through Labor Day. And
Yep. I totally agree.
Bigger. Yeah. And
why they can't, Ron? They can't do that because that would get in the way of their June stuff now.
No, we don't want to interrupt Rainbow Month.
Yeah, you can't have all the decorative patriotic stuff, and that might offend somebody who's not patriotic.
It doesn't make any sense because honestly, let's look at the country, United States of America. Isn't the whole thing about being patriotic, accepting everybody? Isn't red, white, and blue like the most inclusive thing that we can do? Because we're America, we're a melting pot from many, one, e pluribus unum. It should all be, everybody should be accepted. Okay, you want to throw out the rainbow stuff and the American stuff? Cool, why not? But I don't know, Disney, somebody upstairs at Disney seems to have an issue with it. I guess there's no better sign of where this company is than the idea that someone looked at the crowd levels, presumably, we don't know this, folks, but it's presumably so, looked at the crowd levels and said, we're not going to decorate this year. Just do Town Square and we're done. And like you said, there's so little cost associated with that it's just laziness. This is not the way that the company would have been run. This is not the way the parks would have been run, even up to just a few years ago. And if you want to find a sign of why there's nobody there, why their audience is in half, before Epic Universe even arrives, it's because of this kind of stuff. It is the cutting corners at every single place you look. We could go through the list of how many things don't work, how many things are broken. We could go through the hotels. We can go through all the stuff. It's insanity how much this company has been diminished. Lorena, give me your thoughts, and we'll wrap up here. But give me your thoughts on where this goes over the next month. If we're already at this low of a crowd level, where's it going to be come the third week of July?
Well, I'll back up a little bit to the patriotic decorations because I remember as a kid going to Disney World on the 4th of July was like the biggest celebration ever. Flags everywhere, bunting everywhere, swag, everywhere, people in patriotic. It was just America, pretty much. This year, hardly anything. Disney merchandise didn't even have a set of patriotic mini ears like they used to have every year, at least not that I could find. And do you know the only set of patriotic ears that you could find were made by Loungefly? I have a set. Whole bunch of other people bought them and we're just like, where did you get those? They're so cool. And they had the old school Mickey Mouse, like 1930s Mickey Mouse in patriotic gear with a flag. That was it. So I could not believe that. And it does not bode well at all because like you were saying, and especially for me, like as a kid, especially if you were coming from the Northeast, okay, the 4th of July week, that's pretty much the week where you hit Disney and you stay for an entire week. It is the busiest week and it won't be this busy again until briefly Thanksgiving and of course Christmas. Usually there's nothing that's going to be going on. The crowd levels are going to drop. They always do every year, which is why you will see Disney discounting this point of year after the 4th. The parks are going to be dead.
Right. This is
All
the biggest Disney story
out of town. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, girl.
Well, I was just saying this is the biggest Disney story. And if outlets are not covering this, then they're doing a huge disservice to everybody who's interested in Disney. This is, you should not hide this one. This is a big, big deal.
This is a very, very big deal because unlike with Disneyland, the economic model of Walt Disney World is based on out-of-state travel and international travel. There is not a large amount of local population that can sustain Walt Disney World.
Right. 40 square miles of vacation cannot be sustained by any city in America. This is a destination that's sustained by the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a story that
the first time. Oh, I was
Go
just
ahead,
going to
Ron.
say the first time I ever came to Walt Disney World was a 4th of July trip. I was 5 years old. It was 1977. Hopped in the back of my grandparents' truck and we drove down from Arkansas. And as a 5-year-old, I still have that memory of my first time walking in to the Magic Kingdom, seeing Main Street, all the flags, all the bunting, all the red, white, and blue, all the Americana, and then the castle and the fireworks, and
and the streetmosphere actors.
I was 5, so of course I was extremely impressionable, and that was an instant love for Disney, an instant love for the Magic Kingdom, and it's how do we give that to a 5-year-old now when it's just not there as much? It's honestly kind of heartbreaking for me. Really, it's really
on my studio desk. I keep a fast pass for Splash Mountain. That's for 2:30 in the morning. Anybody want to guess what day that was? That fast pass was for? July 3rd.
July 4th.
July
Oh,
3rd. 2:30 in the morning, July 3rd. Folks, I'm here to tell you, July 3rd and July 4th, the parks, Magic Kingdom at least, used to be open till very, very late because capacity was reached. They had to run at crazy hours so everybody could get to enjoy it. We're talking about when you went to see the fireworks, shoulder to shoulder, hang on to your family, find refuge in Adventureland if you could shove through the crowd to get there after the fireworks. that was the experience. It was, I'm not saying it was fun, but I'm saying that you knew a lot of people wanted to go there. And now it's an easy stroll through the park anywhere you go. All right, folks, you need to go subscribe to Follow the Bradley's Fun and Lorena Creole. Great truth-telling theme park channels. Well, you'll find out what's really happening instead of the pixie dust corporate-covered messaging. The folks out there who are so desperate to get their special cupcakes, these two will tell you what's really going on so you can prepare for your vacation. Thanks again to both of you for being here. And folks, apologies if we sound a little groggy this morning. Celebrations happen, but we'll keep going because the news sure does. All right, folks, we will see you very soon on the way out the door. Consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below. Let us know, were you there? Have you seen the crowd levels, and what do you think is happening? And folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
You better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube.
Huh?
Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube, one of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga.
He's Jose.
That one seems a little bit foreign to you.